Good afternoon. My name is Lemi Shanika, and I'll be discussing about computer integration within the mathematical concept. So the topic that I've chosen is mathematics in number operations and relationships. Within those number operations and relationships, what I'll be discussing is addition, subtracting, and multiplication. And the grade that I'll be teaching would be grade 2. So, within the topics that I have chosen, when it comes to addition, subtracting, and multiplication, the main example that I like to use is using money, because that is what we use in our daily lives, and I feel like it is important to teach students at a young age or at an early start of a grade, to teach them about how to use money. For instance, if I take 5 rands and I want to buy a pencil, how much money do I need that will add up to a 5 rand? For instance, I have 1 rands. How many 1 rands do I need that will add up to that 5 rand? So that is the main concept or the idea that I'll be using. The tools that I will be using for the activities will be a whiteboard, where I will be linking my laptop to the whiteboard projector, and I will show a display of the types of things that I'll be showing the students. The activities that I have created is whereby I illustrate the types of number pattern relationships that I will be talking to the students. Let's say, for instance, I have a pencil. I am selling a pencil for 10 rand. Now, if I am selling this pencil for 10 rand, many people would just give a note which is 10 rand. But I would want my students to show me ways how they can create, or what type of coins or notes they will use to create a 10 rand. Now, an example that they can do is, if you want to buy a pencil for 10 rand, the type of coin that I will use is a 5 rand and a 5 rand. Another thing is that in the classroom section, I would have printouts of real life money, but also obviously fake money, but a printout of money, and every student will have examples of printouts of money. Then I would display an image on the board using a projector and ask students, if I want to buy a shoe, or maybe I want to buy a book, and it costs let's say 100 rand. You have your different types of money pages that I've given you. Let's say you have 50 rand, you have 10 rands. Take the coins or the notes that would add up to 100 rand, and the students will show me the type of coins or the notes that they will use that will add up to 100 rand. Okay, so within the strategies to support ICT integration, I'll be talking about the SAMR, starting with the substitution. It will be using a school website, whereby I would allow my students to log onto a computer and do an activity or do a quiz, whereby it shows a certain type of amount that a learner has to pick. For instance, there is a picture of 10 bucks, and the question will be from 1 to 3, whereby it says pick what amount is on the picture, either if it's 2 rand, 10 rand, or 5 rand, and the student will have to choose. So that in general would be a quiz. And for argumentation, it will be showing a presentation picture of how money would actually look like. That was how I would start my lesson with the learners. I would first show them the type of money, how money looks like in general before we actually do the activity. For modification, I'll ask learners to bring a certain product. Let's say, for instance, they bought a box of juice, for instance, or maybe like 1 can of cold drink. I'll ask them to bring that 1 can of cold drink. I'll ask them, how much did that can of cold drink cost you? And if it, for instance, cost 20 bucks, 20 rand, I will ask them to lay out their sheet of fake money that I have printed out for them, and then I'll ask them, now if the can costed you 20 bucks, I would like for you to take out or show me the type of coins or notes that you will use, that you will use the money that will add up to the 20 rand of the coin that you bought. And with last one would be redefinition, whereby we will use a website called math10.com. It has different types of mathematical activities for all grades, but specifically for grade 2, for the phase that I'll be teaching, foundation phase. Different types of activities for the learners, and there are multiple choice questions, and there are also worksheets where they can actually solve problems. And how would I accommodate learners? Because learners are not the same, they are different. For instance, for those learners who cannot hear properly, I would display an image, or even possibly bring an object or material to show them this is the type of things that we are dealing with in the classroom. Or if there are learners who maybe get distracted easily, I would set them alone, away from other learners, but not to like be critical of some sort, but I would set them alone and just kind of deal with the learner by showing him the different types of topics that we'll be discussing, and like repeating it, and like using a different technique that's different from the technique that I use with the whole class. The tools that I'll be using, that I would be using for the classroom, would be a computer, a whiteboard that is connected with a laptop for a projector, and sometimes I'll be using a tablet if there are schools that are fortunate enough to receive tablets. Or and also, as for within the ICT mix, I would also use Word document. I would ask learners, with the assistance of their parents, to create a presentation of the kind of activity or topic that we discussed about in class, and I would ask them to maybe print out the PDF or the document that they have created, and so that they will be presenting it in class. Within also the Bloom's taxonomy, the three main points that I have actually like categorized or focused on would be in remembering. By the end of this lesson, learners should be able to remember or acknowledge or memorize or know or have an idea of what this type of certain coin here looks like, or what a 10 rand looks like, what a 200 rand looks like. And within applying it, they should be able to apply they should be able to solve problems. As I have stated before, if I gave you a product and I want you to give me the amount that will add up to 100 rand, you should be able to do that. And within analyzing, they should be able to break down the use of the use of words. And also I'll be basically giving them activity with just words and not with pictures, whereby I will be asking them if John bought 4 apples and he was asked to bring just 2 apples, how many apples will John have after deducting 2 apples? Those are the type of activities that I have created.